uh, makeup department here is bad, you know.
Oh, you just can't
Uh,
get the staff these days.
Hello, good afternoon, good afternoon. Gosh, what shows we have today? We got two more left after Robin. Yes. Gosh, I'm falling asleep already. But anyway, I'm not gonna do it on Robin because, you know. Anyway, so if you are listening, go to crossroadspodcast.uk and we are live now on radio also, so you can go across there too. Hello, Robin. How are you?
I'm good, thank you, Steve. I'm enjoying the sunny weather today. We were promised thunderstorms, and thankfully they haven't come, at least not yet.
Thank you for doing the weather for us. What's it like? What's it like in the south and the east?
I've no idea. I only know what it's like right here in Wales.
Actually you'd be right. A nice weather woman.
Maybe I've missed my calling.
You must be. Yeah. I know we got to do it. Can you tell everybody about yourself, Robin? Sorry.
So, I'm Robyn, and my business is Equenergy Wild Wellbeing, which is a fusion of equilibrium, balance, and energy. Because when we bring our energies back into balance, then our body knows how to make itself well, and it all of the healing processes that we have within us come into effect and start really working to get us to be as well as we can possibly be. And I call myself a soul alignment mentor because I think that when we can live from a heart centered, soul led space and really step into all of who we are, we feel better. We feel more energized. We feel grounded and free and therefore joyful.
Gosh. So alignment. Now tell me more about that.
Basically, for me, it's listening to who we really are, tuning into our body, tuning into how we feel, and really getting to know that, getting to know ourselves and how our body speaks to us. I call it a body vocabulary. And when we tune in and listen to that, we'll begin to feel a, um, drawn to certain things, and other things we'll feel they just aren't a good fit. And then that will really help us in making the choices that are right for us, that are supportive and uplifting, because we'll feel it in our body. It's like an inner compass. And when we follow that and listen to that and do what our inner self is calling us to, rather than the expectations that the world has and what the world tells us to do. And some of that might be right for you, and some of it might just not feel quite right. So listen to what your inner self is saying. And when you follow that, you feel better. And it can be a challenge at first because many of us aren't used to doing this. But when you really listen and tune in and give yourself permission to do this, it starts to feel expansive and liberating and joyful.
Right. Okay. So, who has helped you? On your way to success, or doing your business. Have you had any mentors?
Yes, I've worked with a variety of business coaches, and right now I'm working with Sarah Wisniewski. And she's amazing because she is herself very soul led, and she's all about doing things. She's a visibility coach, so she's all about visibility in the way that's right for you, because some people like to write, some people like to speak, some people like using images, some people like using a combination. So she supports you to find the way that works for you, because if you're using a vehicle or a channel that doesn't fit well, if you're trying to do lives because everybody says that you should do lives and video is where it's at, but you're really uncomfortable in front of a camera, it'll probably show. Whereas if you're a skilled writer instead, then when you write, it'll come across and people will read that and really get a sense of who you are and what you're sharing. So Sarah supports a whole range of people in whatever works for them and to follow that. So she's been a great mentor for me. And also, just not maybe a current mentor, but in the past, my boss in my first job, he was amazing, and he helped me to see that I had value, because prior to that, I didn't really think I did. And my mum, she was amazing because she retrained at 50. And that saying of you can't teach an old dog new tricks, and if you're in a if you work for an organization and you're heading towards retirement, you don't want to be changing and starting and setting up a business and leaving your full-time job. But my mum did. She retrained and she set up a new business with a partner and did really well. So that was really uplifting and inspiring for me. And there are lots of people. I network with some amazing people, both online, so not just here in Wales, but also locally. And all of them, just meeting with other business people, particularly solopreneurs like myself, is so valuable, because it can be a really lonely place to be if you run
Yeah.
your own business, unless you have contacts and other people that you can share with and bounce ideas off of and get ideas from. So yeah, that's, and also just people on big name people like Brene Brown. She's been an amazing inspiration for me. Gabor Mate, Bessel van der Kolk, Wayne Dyer, Bruce Lipton, all of these people really inspire me, and I've learnt so much from them.
Who's the most inspirational in your life?
Gosh, lots of different people for different reasons, but I think if I had to pick just one, it would be my mum. Because obviously, having grown up watching her and all that she's done, and seeing how she turned her life around, she did this retraining, set up in business. I think she's probably inspired me the most, and in the most variety of ways.
Right. Okay. What's been your biggest learning so far from from any project that you've done?
I think the one that's probably been the biggest shift is to give myself permission to be me,
Mm,
which is why I'm so passionate about what I share. Because I think we are often conditioned to live a certain way. We feel these expectations. And certainly for myself, I felt like a square peg in a round hole. I didn't feel that I fit. I was always trying to fit in, trying to belong, but just feeling more and more out on my own and not
What do you think?
seen for myself.
Why did you think that? Why did you think that you were all on your own? Were you like a loner?
I think I'm an introvert naturally, and I used to be quite a loner, but I think I
Mm,
was a loner because I already had this perception that people wouldn't be interested and possibly
yeah.
wouldn't even like me. But when I came to realize that that was a perception, it wasn't the truth. And then through my journey and through all the networking that I do, began to find I have a little bit of extrovert in me as well. I quite like to speak. I love connecting. I love meeting people. I'm fascinated by people and their stories. So I think all of that coming together really helped me.
Great, great. Who's been your what's sorry. Um, what would you say is your biggest achievement to date?
I think setting up in business and keeping the business going. It's been challenging times. My business is 9 years old this month. So I think developing the business, the way that it's grown, the way that it has shifted and changed, and now I feel I've found the, I guess some people would call it niche, but I've found where I'm comfortable and I'm happy and I'm loving what I do. I think that's a really big achievement.
Do you have any advice for people who are trying to break through in their chosen field? such as being a kind of a speaker or anybody else? Anything else?
Absolutely. And it would be going back to what we were talking about earlier. Trust your own judgment, listen to your own body and your feelings, your emotions, all of your inner guidance, and let that show you the way that's right for you, because no one way is right for everybody. It would be a boring world if we were all the same. So, what is it that lights you up? Give yourself permission to follow that. What makes your heart sing? How can you be more you and follow that?
Brilliant, really good, really good. And what you like under pressure? Somebody came to you right now and said, "Right, I need some help. I need some guidance." And they're trying to like pressure you. What are you like under pressure?
It depends, I think, but I quite like I like a certain amount of pressure. I think I was just on a training, delivering some training, a lunch and learn earlier today, and talking about the fact that stress sometimes gets a bad name, and too much stress obviously isn't healthy for us. But we need a certain amount, because we need a little bit of adrenaline and cortisol to get us up in the morning, to help us to set goals, to achieve those goals, to motivate us. And it's like the saying that anxiety is just the other side of excitement.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
one is turned outwards, one is turned inwards. One is unhealthy and not very supportive, whereas the other one lights us up and makes us enthusiastic and gets us moving and into flow. So yeah, a certain amount of pressure is okay.
What motivates you then? Getting you up in the morning and saying, "Right, it's a brand new day. I'm going to go out and I've got some clients to see." And, what motivates you?
As I said, I just love meeting people. People and their stories and their situations fascinate me. And I love supporting people to find ways to feel better, to find ways to find their flow and their joy and how they can really thrive. I think that most of us don't know what it is to thrive. We know what it is to get through to the end of the day, but often we feel that that's a struggle or it's hard going. It's like walking uphill all the time. How can we just go with the flow and feel like, yeah, it's just coming together rather than it's falling apart? And that's what I love to support people to do, and that's what motivates me.
Yeah, could you outline your hosting style?
My hosting style, sorry,
Yeah, yeah. What is your
hosting
hosting
style.
style? Yeah.
Uh, I've been told that I really help people to feel calm. Apparently, there's something about chatting with me that just helps people to relax. So I love it when, for example, on my podcast, when I have guests, just chatting to them. I think it's about listening and reflecting and drawing people out, helping them to feel safe, to open up and to share and to explore. So I guess that's my answer to that question.
Right. Okay. Okay. Um, uh, when you were thinking about doing your business, around about 9 years ago, did you ever thought you'd be doing this? What you're doing now?
No. 9 years ago, my business looked very different. Obviously, just starting out, I was still very naive and I was still very new to it all. And I wasn't entirely sure what direction. It wasn't like I had this picture of what it was going to be like. I kind of had tentative thoughts of I might do this and I might do that. But over time, I learnt more. It's very common if you're in the well-being field. Certainly you just think, oh, that's something nice to learn and I could add a bit of that. And so you go to a lot of different things, courses and workshops and doing continuous professional development and so on. And over that time my business has changed. It maybe not so much direction, but how it looks and how it operates has changed a lot. So, no, back 9 years ago, I never thought I'd be where I am now. Also, back before I started and when I was starting my business, I wasn't going to network. I wasn't going to speak. I was never going to be standing in front of a camera because all of those things were a nightmare to me, being an introvert. But now I love them. So all of that's changed too.
Okay, brilliant, really good. Um, which are which hurdles did you personally face, and how did you overcome them?
I think that the not being comfortable speaking in front of people was a massive hurdle for me. And in terms of how I overcame it, I think it's been a gradual process, and it's been one of those processes where I wasn't directly addressing it, but by doing other things, so networking and just chatting with people and getting feedback from people that was very positive. So it helped me to see myself as other people see me. Whereas before I was inside myself and I was quaking because I was worried about how other people were observing me, judging me. And now I'm not that bothered. People can like me or not like me. I've realized now that that's, in a sense, they say what other people think about you is none of your business. And for me, it's just that's their particular taste, and no one size fits all. No one person is going to be everybody's taste. So that's fine. I'm okay with that now. And I don't worry about how people are observing me, just that I hope if I'm presenting that they're enjoying what I'm sharing. But in terms of what they think of me, then I'm not so bothered about that anymore. I think it's
Ah,
just been a process.
you should take notes of people anyway. I was slandered in the newspapers by people, and I don't take the notes of anybody. So there you go.
Yeah,
Anyway,
it says more about them than it does about you.
yeah, of course it does. Right. Okay. So I want to ask you some more questions, but they're a bit, they're a bit weird. But here we go. On a scale of 1 to 50, how weird are you?
Oh, 56, 57, something like that.
Right. Okay. Right. Oh gosh. Um, what are you not very good at?
Numbers. I don't gel well with numbers. So I don't do my accounts. I have an accountant for that. And if there's other financial stuff, I'll quite often ask my husband to look into it rather than me dealing with it.
All right. Okay. Tell me something that's true. Hang on for a second. Tell me something that's true that almost nobody agrees with you on.
Oh. Uh, I think one of the things that I share that people often find a bit strange is that the body doesn't make mistakes. We're often told by medical professionals that when we have pain, something's going wrong in the body. For me, that's not the case. It's just the body seeking to share some information with us. It just has a, a message that it wants to give us. I think things are shifting, and I think more people are coming online with that now, though.
Right. Okay. Brilliant. Right. Um, room, desk, and car. Which do you clean first?
Desk, probably its smallest. And also, I like to have a clear workspace.
Right. Okay. Okay. I don't know why they give me these questions, but there you go. Right. Okay. Um. Right. Okay. So here comes a couple personal ones. It's not that bad. Don't worry. Right. If your husband comes back one day and says he's going on holiday for 2 weeks, would you get annoyed with him? That's number one. Two, would you say, why can't I come with you? Or three, would you think, carry on then, help yourself?
It's happened, and it was carry on then. He went off on a lad's holiday to do some motorbiking. So, really not my scene. And I'm quite happy with where we are. So, it's not really a problem.
So you just let him go, let him go.
Oh yeah, I know what he's who he's going with. I know where he's going, and yeah, it's just a lads. It was a lads' holiday, and not really my scene, so it wasn't a problem. But if he was to go off on a holiday to Italy all on his own and was traveling to places that I wanted to go and seeing lots of things I wanted to see, then it might be a different story.
Right. Okay. Okay. And the last question. Um, if your husband comes back, if your husband came home with a great big bunch of flowers and a bottle of wine, well, I don't know what you're laughing at. Right. If your husband came back with a great big bunch of flowers and a bottle of wine, how would you react?
I'd say thank you very much. Where's the corkscrew? He's done this. Though generally speaking, it's not wine. He's recently come home with maybe a bottle of whiskey or something like that, or it was a bottle of gin the other day. He said he just fancied a gin. But yeah, he's spontaneous and can be quite romantic like that. So yeah, I wouldn't say he does it all the time. It's not like I'm used to it, but it's a nice surprise.
Ah, right. Okay. So if you came home with a bunch of flowers, because we have had people like saying, well, if my husband came home with a bunch of flowers and a bottle of wine, then I'd just say, what's he's done? You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that's why I
Yeah.
was laughing because I know that's the standard response.
Yeah.
But no,
Yeah. 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 Look, thank you so much, Robin. I love having you on. I think it's really good, and the listeners like it too. And and if people want to contact you, Robin, how do they do that?
you can find me on my website, and you can see there on the screen it's equenergy.com, EQUENERGY.com, and all of my contact details are there, and my socials and everything. You can find everything, hopefully, that you need to know about me on my website, and you can also find my Facebook links and so on there as well. I've got a group on Facebook if anybody would like to come along and join me there too.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Robin. And just hope, hey, your husband will come home in a minute with a bunch of roses.
Well, it would be interesting if he did because he's on the motorbike today. That'd be a fun juggling glass of or a bottle of wine and a bunch of flowers.
All right then. Thank you so much. Thank you. God bless. Bye
Thank
bye.
you, Steve. Bye
Bye.
bye.
Bye bye.